Right now, what's dominating the conversation among Steelers fans is the interview that took place earlier today between a well-known athlete and a famous host. In this moment, I want to share my reflections on that conversation. The athlete broke his silence, as we hadn't heard from him since the beginning of the offseason. He discussed the reason behind the delay in his decision for the 2025 season, praised the Pittsburgh organization, and even addressed the possibility of retirement. Before I go further, feel free to leave your opinion in the comments. After watching the interview, what do you think are the odds of him signing with the Steelers and becoming the team's starting quarterback this season? Give it a score from 0 to 100. 0 meaning there's no chance he joins, and 100 meaning it's a sure thing he'll be a Steeler. Let's begin with my reflections. The first is about the reason for the prolonged wait. This situation is not about holding out for other teams, financial demands, contractual issues, or even his current impression of the Steelers. He said he's dealing with some personal matters in his private life that require his full attention. He doesn't want to commit to a team until those matters are resolved. His exact words were, "The difficulties I'm facing off the field within my inner circle need my attention right now. I'm not dragging anyone along or holding anyone hostage. I've always been transparent from the start about my mental state and some of the limitations I'm currently experiencing, which require my attention. I don't want to disrespect any Steelers players, whether veterans or incoming rookies. I'm just going through a complicated time in my personal life that must take priority." From the beginning, he said he was upfront about his mental condition and the personal challenges that currently demand his focus. He made it clear he has no intention of undermining any member of the Steelers. It's simply a matter of prioritizing important personal issues, which require a significant level of commitment. He even told the team, "If you need to move on or make a different decision, please feel free to do so." He added that there would be nothing but love and respect if that's the path they chose. However, no deadlines have been set, and he's had several discussions around this. I genuinely believe his explanation. It seems like he's dealing with family-related problems or matters involving people close to him, things he's decided to keep private. He didn't offer any specific details, preferring to protect those involved. Still, it's clear that he wants to settle these personal issues before fully committing to the Steelers. He also mentioned that he often reflects deeply on what is said in the media. It's evident that his inner circle is very tight, and people tend to speculate. Some chase after information, but often get it wrong. If something doesn't come directly from him or his family, who are known for not leaking anything, it's hard to know what he truly thinks. He addressed a lot of the misinformation that's been floating around. He said, "There are no leaks from me. My circle is very tight. I don't just go around sharing information for the sake of sharing. That's simply not my style." He emphasized that many people assume they have insight into his situation, but most of it is completely false. Let's dive into some of the claims he dismissed, or at least said weren't true. First, there were rumors about interest from other teams, and naturally, many people had. There's been a significant amount of speculation about his situation, much of it based on faulty information. It's important to address some recent claims that have been debunked, particularly regarding one specific team. Various commentators, including a former player, suggested he was waiting for a spot on that team. However, the team in question has made it clear they're not pursuing him this season. He clarified that many of the narratives circulating aren't accurate. This includes conversations involving another team, as well as a rumor that he had made some sort of offer to that team. His connection to the former player is family-related, and while that person speculated he was waiting for a chance with the team, that's simply not true. The idea that he's hoping a current quarterback fails so he can step in is completely unfounded, according to his own statements. He also made it clear that the upcoming draft won't influence his decision. I had speculated earlier that he might be waiting to see how the draft plays out before making a final choice, but he confirmed that's not the case. Even if a team drafts a quarterback in the first round, he seems open to mentoring a young player while still considering joining the team. Another key point, he is not actively seeking a massive contract. Initially, some reports claimed he wanted a deal in the $30 to $40 million range, wanting to top another quarterback's contract. But he addressed that rumor, stating, "From the beginning, I was clear with these teams about my expectations. I told every team I spoke with that this isn't about money. I'd be willing to play for $10 million. I never suggested I needed a multi-year contract at $30 to $40 million per season. That claim came from a well-known source, but he said it lacked any basis in truth. He went on to praise the team he recently met with, reiterating that finances aren't the issue. He said he'd play for $10 million and never asked for a long-term deal at high price. He praised the team after visiting, highlighted his positive experience during throwing sessions, and said he's genuinely excited about the possibility of playing for them this season. There are some conditions to consider, and to take advantage of the opportunity, fans would need to create an account and use a code, shown at the bottom of the screen, to receive a $20 discount on their first purchase. It's also important to download a specific app to secure last-minute tickets at the best price. Recently, this athlete expressed his admiration for the team and sees the city as a major opportunity for his career. Despite assumptions that he's not interested in joining the team, he shared his impressions after a throwing session with a UCLA player. He wanted to feel the chemistry, discuss the energy, and observe how the ball was coming out, describing the player as highly respectable and a fierce competitor. This raises the question, if he had no intention of joining the team, why would he make the effort to connect and throw with someone from it? He also had positive remarks about the coaching staff, especially the head coach, who exceeded his expectations. Those familiar with him know he's long admired this coach's leadership style and reiterated that his respect grew even more after their interactions. He spoke highly of another coach, describing him as someone dedicated and passionate. He even shares a history with the quarterback's coach, having trained with him before that coach's release from a previous position, adding another layer to their connection. It's clear he would be excited to work with this coaching staff. He praised their contributions during tough training moments, even referring to the environment as reminiscent of an old quarterback school. He described the setup as an ideal fit for him. Furthermore, he complimented a specific player, signaling strong interest in joining the team. He said he's in regular contact with the organization. While a source suggested the team hasn't heard from him since his draft visit, he refuted that. He clarified that discussions have taken place and that there are no more uncertainties on his end. He's currently focused on handling his personal obligations while keeping communication open. He also mentioned having multiple conversations with the head coach during this process. In my view, when he says there are no uncertainties left about his football future, that suggests he's narrowed his decision down to either joining this team or retiring. He recognizes the need to settle some personal matters first, but judging by the praise he gave the organization, the coach, and a specific player, this seems like a very real opportunity for him. He just needs to resolve those off-field matters to fully commit. The starting quarterback for a particular team feels that signing at this moment would signify complete dedication, but his focus is currently diverted due to ongoing personal challenges. However, once these issues are resolved, it seems that the team will be ready for his return. It is important to note that retirement is still a possibility for him, as he expressed during the conversation, showing a willingness to consider multiple options without committing to any. If these personal challenges persist into the summer months, he might ultimately conclude that he does not want to play this season. He could find himself in a position where fully committing to a team this year feels uneasy, which could lead him to either announce his absence for the season or choose to retire. While this scenario cannot be ruled out, it doesn't appear that he is currently leaning towards retirement. He has communicated to the organization that he plans to play this year and has been involved in discussions not only with this team, but also with another prior to that interest being set aside. His desire to participate in the year 2025 seems sincere, with addressing these personal matters taking precedence. Eventually, he will sign a contract to assume the role of the starting quarterback for this team. Overall, predicting when this decision will happen is difficult, as it depends on when he resolves his personal issues. There is no clear timeline for this resolution, which could happen in a week, though that seems unlikely. It may take longer, potentially several weeks, before a formal announcement is made. In fact, this could extend all the way to training camp. The team appears prepared to wait as long as it takes for him to make a decision, at which point he will complete the necessary paperwork. This sentiment has been shared regarding his situation and the team's willingness to be patient during recent discussions among league owners. Training camp is an important time, and the team seems ready to be patient. They will grant him all the time he requires, and, eventually, he will finalize the contract. This illustrates the comments made about his circumstances and the team's preparedness to support him. In the spring, the focus shifts to teaching, learning, and ensuring players are familiar with key elements valued by the organization. It is not a time for assessment, nor is it focused on preparing for actual game situations. The training camp will play a crucial role in this narrative. Discussions surrounding his signing this spring are centered on instruction and learning. Therefore, it appears that the team leaders are prepared to wait. He has likely indicated that this process will take time due to personal matters needing resolution before everything can be finalized. Leadership seems completely at ease with this strategy. It is clear he could show up at training camp and miss all organized events, yet still be recognized as the starting quarterback for the team. You might be curious about how this affects the upcoming draft, as it seems improbable he will reach a decision before this year's NFL draft. He may not arrive at a conclusion for several months. This brings up the question, should a quarterback be picked in the first round? Where would they consider choosing one? Would they contemplate selecting a quarterback at this stage? From my perspective, the team strategy seems to be based on the assumption that he will be their main quarterback this season. If that does not come to pass, they might look into acquiring another quarterback through a trade later in the offseason. Additionally, it seems likely they will seek to draft a quarterback in the middle rounds to develop for the future, perhaps someone like Jalen Milroe, if he is available. The starting quarterback for this team will be crucial to its success. If they can't find the right match, they might consider acquiring a veteran later in the season. It's also likely they will evaluate drafting a quarterback in the mid-rounds to develop a prospect for future years. A candidate from a strong college program may be on their radar in the third or fourth round. That seems like the most reasonable strategy, especially since the team is clearly focused on immediate results and would rather use their first-round pick on a player who can contribute right away, instead of investing in a quarterback who may only start down the line or serve as a backup. That direction might not align with the team's current goal of winning now. I'm curious to know what you think about all of this. If I were in a decision-making position and hoping to land a standout quarterback this year, my approach would be to target a mid-round quarterback option. I look forward to hearing your thoughts. The analysis of this recent interview with a high-profile athlete has been a whirlwind of revelations and has sparked intense discussion throughout the live draft chat. But before we dive in, don't forget to subscribe to Steelers Nation Central and hit the like button on this video. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on the Pittsburgh Steelers. And don't forget to share your thoughts on the news in the comments below.